What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Terence Bud Crawford and Top Rank's Bob Arum. Bob Arum to announce Terence Crawford's next fight next week, says it's a major fight and it's on pay-per-view. Bob Arum of Top Rank says he'll be making a big announcement within a week of Terence Crawford's next fight, which he's calling a major fight on pay-per-view. Arum says they'll be revealing the date and location when the announcement is made. Virgil Ortiz is the number 2 contender with the WBO organization. Would fit the description of being a major fight for Crawford. The unbeaten Ortiz is 17-0 and 17 KOs. Called out Crawford a little over a week ago following his win over Maurice Hooker in Fort Worth, Texas. At the time, Crawford dismissed the idea of fighting the 22-year-old Ortiz, saying that he needs to earn the fight against him despite being ranked number 2 with the WBO. Virgil's promoter, Oscar De La Hoya, seemed optimistic that he would fight Terence Crawford next. With the way that Arum is talking, it sounds like he'll be fighting Manny Pacquiao or Errol Spence Jr. next. Recently, Arum tried to set up a fight between WBO welterweight champion and Pacquiao, and he had said that if he couldn't get the Pacquiao fight, he would look at potentially setting up a fight between Crawford and WBO mandatory Shawn Porter. With Porter's recent comments to Crawford on Twitter 2 weeks ago about him being ready to fight him in May, it doesn't appear that he'll be Bud's next opponent. This means we could be seeing Crawford finally getting his dream fight against the 42-year-old Pacquiao. Aside from Pacquiao, Porter, Danny Garcia, Keith Thurman, and Errol Spence, Crawford doesn't have the popularity needed to fight on pay-per-view against the regular contenders in the 147-pound division. Let me stop there. First of all, let me counterpunch Matt Lieberman, okay? He does have the popularity. I don't want to hear that he doesn't have the popularity shit, okay? Because who talks about Keith Thurman these days? And I like Keith Thurman, but really, who talks about him these days? You know what I mean? So I think that was a biased comment, but a major announcement. I think it's neither of these guys. I think it's Mikey Garcia. But the only problem with that is Bob Arum and the relationship with Mikey Garcia, so it might not be. You know, Virgil Ortiz looks like it's a good runner-up. Maybe Bob Arum has talked Terence Crawford into fighting Virgil Ortiz. You know what I'm saying? So that might be the fight. Maybe. But I would like the idea of Terence Crawford fighting, sure, Errol Spence, but if not Errol Spence, Shawn Porter. If not Shawn Porter, Manny Pacquiao. But Manny Pacquiao would mean more. Why? The win, if he beats and he fights Manny Pacquiao and he gets a Manny Pacquiao fight, the legend, that means he's done something that Errol Spence, Danny Garcia, or Shawn Porter couldn't do. Because you know Errol Spence was after that fight himself with Manny Pacquiao because he was once upon a time with the PBC. Okay? And he was trying to get that fight over a lot of other fights. Right? So if Terence Crawford can get that fight, nobody in their right mind, including this fucking journalist, Matt, could say that Terence Crawford doesn't have the popularity at the division if everybody else was trying to fight the guy that he ends up fighting. Counterpunch. Okay? So it looks good. Whatever the big announcement is, and if it's Bob Arum being as tight as Bob Arum's being, and really is, that means this is a big fight. A major fight on pay-per-view. Right? So this is going to be a big fight. I cannot wait who this fighter will be named as. You guys tell me what you think and who you think Terence Crawford will be fighting next. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.